Welcome to another session of analytical techniques or electrochemistry. Today we'll look into conductometric titration, that is mixture of acids versus strong base. We have already seen in our previous session strong acid versus strong base and weak acid versus strong base. Today we'll look into the mixture of acids versus strong base. If you haven't watched the previous videos, the link is above. Please do watch. Before we move on, subscribe for more informative videos. Please tap the like button and drop in your comments, and also share the video if you like the video. We'll see what is conductometric titration. Conductometric titration is a titration used to measure the amount of an analyte present in the given solution by measuring the change in the conductance as a function of volume of titrant. That is, as we add the titrant, what happens to the conductance value in the given solution. We are going to measure conductance here. So the conductance is mainly due to the movement of ions present in the solution, and during titration we see that the ions, one type of ion is replaced with another type of ion with different conductivity, and the equivalence point is determined graphically. As we are taking mixture of acids in conductometric titration of today, we have chosen HCl as a strong acid and acetic acid as a weak acid. So we are taking the mixture of a strong acid as well as a weak acid. And the titrant here is NaOH. When the titrant is added to this mixture of acids, we see that it preferably adds on to the strong acid, that is HCl, rather than the acetic acid, because the acetic acid, being a weak acid, does not dissociate immediately. So when HCl is dissociated and NaOH is added, both are represented in the ionic form because both are strong electrolytes. NaCl is formed. This NaCl is also a strong electrolyte, so this is also represented in the form of ions. And the water is non-ionic and does not contribute for any conductance. And here the facts to remember is H plus and OH minus ions are fast moving ions, or ions with high ionic conductivity or ionic mobility, and Na plus and Cl minus have low ionic conductivity, or we can also call them as slow moving ions which has low ionic mobility. Now we'll see when the titration starts in this conductometric titration what happens. That is, before the titration, that is before we add any NaOH, we see that the analyte solution has both HCl and acetic acid. Here acetic acid, being a weak acid, does not dissociate at all, so the conductance comes only from HCl. So HCl is present as H plus ions and Cl minus ions, and we see that Cl minus ions are slow moving and H plus ions are fast moving. So this mainly contributes for high conductance because it has high ionic conductivity and the conductance value is very high. This is the first point before the titration starts. And during the titration till the equivalence point or the neutralization of HCl, because we have two acids here, we are talking only about the neutralization point of HCl. Till then, if you see, when NaOH is added to HCl, we see that NaCl forms. But as the titration progresses, we see that the slow moving Na plus ions with low ionic conductivity replaces the fast moving H plus ions with high ionic conductivity, and we see that the overall conductance slowly starts decreasing. This happens till the equivalence point of HCl. So the conductance decreases. Now the HCl has completely neutralized. We'll see what happens next. Now, as we add NaOH, the HCl has already reacted, so no other go. Acetic acid, even though it's a weak acid, it has to start reacting with NaOH. Here acetic acid does not dissociate, so we are not representing in the form of ions. NaOH is represented as ions. It forms sodium acetate, which is more ionic in nature. It dissociates better than acetic acid, so it is represented as ions, and as usual water is a non-ionic and not represented in the form of ions. And the facts already which have been discussed, that is acetic acid does not dissociate easily, sodium acetate dissociates better than acetic acid, NaOH dissociates immediately, and Na plus has low ionic conductivity. Sorry, plus has to be at the top as a superscript. And the high ionic conductivity are H plus and OH minus ions. Now we'll see as we add NaOH after the complete neutralization of HCl, it starts reacting with acetic acid. Now, after the complete neutralization, what happens is NaCl is already present in the analyte solution, that is which has reacted with HCl. Now we have acetic acid and a very small amount of sodium acetate, because this is the initial addition. Just I'm adding 1 or 2 drops or just 1 ml. Then here we see that acetic acid does not dissociate easily for two reasons. That is, it is already a weak base, but it does not dissociate because of even common ion effect, because we have acetate ions both on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. That is, left hand side we have acetic acid and right hand side we have sodium acetate. So there is a slight fall in the conductance initially. Now as we progress with the titration, we see that we are continuously adding NaOH. It reacts with acetic acid and forms sodium acetate. Now the domination of sodium acetate keeps increasing, and this dissociates better than acetic acid. So this starts forming and contributes for conductance. So slowly the conductance increases because this is having higher conductance value than the acetic acid. So the conductance slowly increases, but it is not a rapid increase as in the case of adding the strong base. Okay. So the conductance slowly increases. This happens till the equivalence point or neutralization of acetic acid. That is, till all the acetic acid neutralizes to form sodium acetate. Now, after the complete neutralization, we are still adding NaOH. Now we see that the excess NaOH, there is no HCl and no acetic acid to react. So NaOH gets accumulated, out of which Na plus is a slow moving ion and OH minus is a fast moving ion with high ionic conductivity. So the conductance value drastically keeps increasing due to the accumulation of OH minus ions. Finally, we need to draw the graph, that is plot all the points and draw these 3 lines. That is, here see that the maximum number of points are falling on each line, and here we see that due to the initial fall we are having a curve. Don't worry about it. Draw a straight line and see that you get 2 intersection points. The first intersection point is the volume of NaOH required for the complete neutralization of the strong acid, that is HCl in this case, and this is V2. The second intersection point represents the volume of NaOH required to completely neutralize acetic acid. This is how we identify the neutralization point of HCl and acetic acid. Here we see that it's the beauty of this conductometric titration, because we are able to identify the volume separately for the strong acid and the weak acid, which is generally not possible with the conventional titration. In conventional titration, when we titrate with NaOH, it gives the only one single titer value for both the acids put together. This is the major advantage which we have already seen. It's highly suitable for dilute, turbid and colored solution, for incomplete reactions, weak acids and weak bases and mixture of acids. And we need not take care at the end point as it is determined graphically. We have already seen how we are determining it graphically, and it does not require any indicators. And is not really suitable in the presence of other electrolytes, or if the concentration of the salts also are high and we don't get the accurate results, and is not really that very suitable for redox titration. And it's literally used for many types of applications. Wherever ions have to be studied, you can use this conductometric titration. Pollution in water, quantitative analysis, alkalinity in water, salinity, purity of distilled and mineral water, and that is demineralized water, solubility of sparingly soluble salts, etc. We have already seen in our previous sessions. It's just because why I'm giving in all the sessions is, if you are clicking one particular video, you need to have the advantages, disadvantages and applications of the same. So this is all for this session. Thank you for watching. Please drop in your comments and any suggestions, and share this video with your friends. Until we meet in another session, bye bye. Thank you.